back to the spoilerCast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them because it is the spoilerCast. It's in the title. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusty co-host Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, look, they can hear you. And today is the fourth episode of our Home Alone series.
Yes.
It's
backwards.
We're doing it in reverse chronological order. So we're talking about the third movie, but it's the fourth one we're talking about, which is annoying, saying it like that.
Yes.
No, wait. It's the fourth time we're talking about it, but it's a third movie we're talking about.
Isn't that what you said?
No, I said it's the fourth movie we're talking about, but it's the third one we're talking about.
Jesus Christ.
And if
it's
you
all sounding the same to me by now.
and if you are as confused as we are, don't worry, because even though some of these episodes are going to be on Patreon, as you know, as they always are, we always release one extra episode every Monday on Patreon. You can still watch all of them because they're being released. All of them are being released as video podcasts, even the ones on Patreon. And the Patreon episodes are free this December. The December episodes, the Home Alone episodes, are free on Patreon and will stay free for all time. So it's a perfect opportunity to check out our Patreon page. It's linked wherever you're listening to this, on all the major podcast platforms, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the link down below in the description
box.
Or just check out patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. All the Home Alone episodes are there, including a bunch of other commentary tracks and other episodes. So check that out. But let's get into Home Alone 3.
Which is for once only called Home Alone 3.
Yeah, there's no stupid subtitle. And this is actually it's actually written by John Hughes, the guy who came up with the Home Alone idea, who wrote the first two movies.
So it's legit,
yes,
more or less.
It was, and it was, since we're doing this in reverse order, this is the first one that was actually shown in theaters, but technically it was the last one shown in theaters.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about some stupid TV movie or streaming movie. This is an actual, honest-to-God movie.
Yes.
Shot on film, even.
Right.
And the plot is four, they're called spies or thieves on IMDb.
International spies.
Yeah. Have stolen a cool chip from the Air Force, and they are going to sell it to North Korean terrorists. But they're smuggling it, of course, through customs in a remote-controlled car that is unwittingly picked up by a cranky old woman who then gives it to the neighborhood kid, brat, whatever.
Yeah.
And, of course, they track him down, and he has to defend his house from these burglars by setting up booby traps and being home alone. I guess that's not part of him defending the house, but I mean, he is home alone while doing it.
Yes.
So the plot is more similar to the original, but also a bit more involved, since there's like terrorists and international smuggling, and the Air Force is involved.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna was this the first time you saw this one?
No, I have seen it before. I don't remember when or what I really thought about it. I do remember not counting it as a Christmas movie, though.
No, and after looking it up or after watching the movie, it is not a Christmas movie.
No, it's not really a Christmas movie.
Yeah, for some dumb reason, it takes place on January 10th and 11th.
Yeah.
Why not just put it on the Christmas week or whatever? I don't know.
And just add some Christmas lights.
Yeah.
That's basically all you had to do.
It's ridiculous. I mean, maybe they wanted to we don't want it to be too much like the first two, but it's literally like the first two.
Yeah.
And Christmas is such a big part of the two originals, so which all the other ones realized. I don't know why they didn't do it with this one, but
well, maybe they wanted, like you said, they wanted to distance themselves a bit more from the originals.
Sure. And
just to be able to maybe push this out some other time than just around Christmas,
I guess. But the biggest departure from the original formula is, of course, this is the first movie where Macaulay Culkin is not involved. Technically, it's
Yeah.
the last one before we start talking about Macaulay Culkin,
Oh yeah.
but you know.
You know.
No, yeah, this was originally proposed as a proper third movie, you know, dealing with the
Oh.
McAllister family.
Okay.
The original idea was to shoot this back to back with the second movie. I don't know if that was scrapped or if Macaulay declined the offer back in like '92. Well, because the second one came out in '91. But either way, this took a few more years to come. It came out in '97, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it was rewritten to not feature any of the characters of the previous movies. At one point, they wanted it to be about Kevin's cousin, Fuller, who wets the bed, you know? It was supposed to be about him and Harry and Marv trying to rob him or his house for some reason.
Ending up at his house, I guess. Instead.
Yeah, which would that would almost be worse, because then it's like the coincidences are too big here. Why would they go after Fuller? They don't know who he is, you know. I honestly just think it's because Fuller was played by Kieran Culkin, one of the Culkin siblings, one of the little
one
brothers.
of the younger ones.
Yeah, it's either Rory or Kieran. I don't remember.
I think it's Kieran, but I'm not sure.
And it just feels like, well, if the one Culkin kid don't want to do it, we'll just grab the other one, which would have been very cynical, but they didn't, fortunately.
Thank
also because both Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, they were like, no, we don't want to do another one. We want to go other places in our careers.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because, I mean, I get it, but Joe Pesci had already gone several places in his career. He had already been Academy nominated. I don't think awarded yet, because for Goodfellas or Raging Bull, one of those movies. I don't remember. But I still understand he doesn't want to do a third Home Alone movie. And then Stern, the same thing, of course. He doesn't want to be remembered as Marv his entire career, which
it kind of is,
though. I mean, when you think of Daniel Stern, the first thing you think of is Home Alone, unfortunately.
I mean, you don't even know it's Daniel Stern. You'll say, oh, that's Marv.
Oh, it's Marv, yeah. Oh, look, it's Marv, yeah.
Whoops.
So, yeah, which is... maybe we're skipping ahead in the discussion here, but I think that is a wonderful like disposition to have as an actor. Like, imagine an actor today saying like, no, I don't want to do the third like Captain America movie. I want to do something different. Like, wow, what a fucking thing.
Doesn't really exist anymore.
No. Well, and I'm not just putting that on, like, I'm not shitting on Chris Evans here. I know he signed a contract, so even if he didn't want to make Captain America 3, he had to. I think he signed.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it was Sebastian Stan, but they probably had a similar contract because they're in basically all the same movies. He wrote like an 8-movie contract when he signed on for the first Captain America, which is insane. That his character will be in 8 movies before we release you.
Did that count the series?
Yeah, every movie that Bucky is in. So Captain America 1, 2, 3, Avengers. He's technically in like one scene of Black Panther, so that counts.
Right.
So yeah.
Doesn't he have like him and the Winter Soldier and Hawk or whatever? Didn't they have like a?
No, that was Falcon. That was
Falcon, right?
Well, what's that guy called? Oh, whatever. The guy who plays Falcon. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, but isn't Falcon? Oh,
yeah,
and
right.
Winter Soldier.
Oh, right. It's Winter Soldier. Sorry. Yeah, exactly.
It's those two, right?
Does
that count as a movie?
No, I think that's a different deal, though. That's probably a TV deal. That's how they kept him on after his contract was over.
Yep.
Yeah, but here it's just, they were like, no, and even like a kid actor, but no, I want to do something different. I don't want to be pigeonholed as this character. I don't want to do any more uncreative sequels. Like, wow. Integrity. Anyway, so they went ahead and made this a completely different, a completely separate movie from the other two. I don't know.
To be honest,
yeah. What did you? Sorry, I don't know if we. I railroaded the conversation there, but what did you think of it?
I actually like it.
All right.
I mean, in comparison to all the Home Alone movies we watched, and in general, it's a well-made movie.
Sure.
It's definitely not the worst of all the Home Alone movies.
Oh no.
It's dropping a few places if we're talking Christmas movies here, but
Yeah, I mean, it's literally not a Christmas movie.
even though it premiered in December.
Yeah,
Which
and
is stupid.
with minor tweaks, it could have been a Christmas movie, but
Yeah,
it
but
wasn't.
it's all honestly, it's fine that it's not, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
But it's still high up on the list because it's very well produced. It's well acted. It's an okay script. Like there's nothing too bad about it.
No.
Really.
I mean, what really lowers the score is that it's the third Home Alone movie.
Yeah.
It's highly derivative at this point.
They could have. We said that about at least one or two of the other ones. Just don't add the Home Alone thing, and you could have made it a totally separate movie.
Yeah. Well,
because there's not enough similarities, to be honest.
I think there is enough in this that people would say like, no, this is like a Home Alone movie. I think so. I think it's similar enough.
But considering, because it's not like they left him home alone when they went traveling. They didn't forget him. They just had to step out of the house for a few hours, and he manages to get shit done in those few hours.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the whole, he's seen them a few times. He knows they're coming, and he's like called the cops, and they're dismissing him. There's so much, and there's so much more intricacy with the thieves as well. They're very planned out and good spies, to be honest. Even though they're failing.
Yeah, even though they're being thwarted by a kid.
They're actually kind of good.
With an RC car. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. But, since this only came out, 5 or 6 years after the second one, I think, people are like, and it's made by John Hughes, or at least, written and produced by him. It was like, no. I don't know.
I see that way. I can see like, okay, yeah, this is weird.
They're just trying to cash in on Home Alone by making another Home Alone-like movie. But now they're still just trying to cash in on Home Alone by making literally another Home Alone movie. It's the same thing.
Yes.
I think people couldn't have looked through the fingers on this one like they could have with the fourth or the fifth one.
Was the fifth one? I think we said it.
I think so. Yeah, that could have been like, a different movie.
No, maybe not. I mean, maybe they had to do a few more tweaks and maybe release it a couple of years later or something.
Yeah, sure.
But it's a well-made movie, at least compared to number 4.
Oh yeah,
and 6. Well, 6 is well made, but it's not good.
It's the only thing that 6 has going for it is that it's modern. It's not particularly well made.
That's true.
There's like shitty backdrops and obviously fake snow and like bad acting. It's not particularly well made. Terrible. That movie. No, 4 is worse, but 6 has like the worst lighting of them all. The 5th one looks more like a movie than the 6th one. Yeah, whatever. Right. Either way. We're not talking about number 6. You can check out our discussion of number 6 on patreon.com/don'tmakescene. It's free.
Yes.
Anyway.
You remember the first time you saw Home Alone 3?
I'm pretty sure I remember the first time I saw it, because this came out in 1997. Yes. So I would have been 8. So yes. I probably saw it sometime in like January or February of or maybe a little later, when it came out on VHS here in Sweden. So sometime in early 98.
Yeah, probably.
I know we rented it because it's Home Alone 3, and I hadn't seen that one. I'd seen the other ones. And at the time, I remember I talked to one of my friends about it, who was also a fan of the movies. Dennis is his name. And he had seen it before me, so maybe this was even like mid 98. Either way. And he said like, oh, it's really funny. It has a bird, and it has a cool RC car with a camera on it, and he had a similar is it a parakeet? Nymph-parakeet. Whatever. He had a similar bird, so he thought that was funny because he had that almost like, that kind of bird at home. Bird. Yeah. So I think that's why I wanted to see it. So we rented it, and I remember liking it, but also feeling like it's not as good as the first. Even back then, when I was 8, it was not as good as the first 2 ones because it's not right, because it's not Kevin McAllister. This felt off, and back then it was just because it was another kid. But now I get that it's derivative. It's the spirit is
Yeah.
kind of gone, you know. Even though it's an okay movie. Even watching it now, it's fine.
Yeah.
Out of the sequels, out of the non-Kevin McAllister sequels, okay, and number 4, because that's technically Kevin McAllister, but no, out of the non-Macaulay Culkin movies, this is probably the best. You can't say number 5 is better than this. You can't. This is like a real movie.
The only difference for me is the Christmas thing.
Oh, no. We talked a lot of positive stuff about the 5th one.
Yeah.
But, that was just because it was surprisingly good for a shit movie.
True,
This is actually an okay movie.
This is a better movie as is. For what it is.
For what it is, yes.
But I am more likely to rewatch the 5th one because I will rewatch it for Christmas.
Okay.
This one I'm less likely to rewatch because I have no reason to rewatch it. It's not a Christmas movie. It's not going to be on the list of 30 movies to watch during Christmas.
For me, this I don't know if I'm breaking some sort of covenant here, but for me, this is a Christmas movie because it's a Home Alone movie. And it's snowing, you know. He might as well have said, "Where did you drive this old lady on December 8th instead of January 8th?" Just, you know.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, whatever.
It could have been just before the Christmas holidays.
Yeah,
That's why the other kids were in school. But they chose not to. So therefore, it's not a Christmas movie in my eyes.
Right.
And
sure. The 5th one
loses its spot.
Oh, boy.
In my Christmas list, just for that.
Okay.
Because I remember like I've rarely watched this. I've seen it.
No,
a few times.
I think I've seen it. Yeah, once when I was 8, and when I made my little video series about it a few years ago now on the channel. You can check it out on the YouTube channel. Links wherever. Yeah. I made a video about this one, so I did watch it then. But that's probably the only times, two times. Yeah. So this is the 3rd time watching it. Yeah.
Because again, Home Alone for me it's Christmas.
One. Oh yeah, it's Christmas. Yeah.
So when you get to number 3 and it's not Christmas, you're like, but then what's the reason to watch it?
Yeah. And I
only pull out Home Alone 1 or 2 at Christmas. For December.
Yeah. Well, we haven't really talked about that, but we're very strict when it comes to Christmas movies. Yes. Like, unless we're like we start watching a movie and we don't know it's a Christmas movie, that's fine. And like a month ago, I had to watch a Christmas movie for my other podcast, Madness and the Method. Check it out on all major podcast platforms.
You can softly start in November. That's fine.
Yes, sure. But other than that, I do not watch Christmas movies. I don't watch Die Hard. I don't watch even one of those. I barely even watch Gremlins, even though that's kind of like a transitional movie because it's a horror movie, but it takes place during Christmas, so it's like a November movie.
Yeah, but it's like Nightmare Before Christmas. I watched that in either like November 1st or sometime mid-November.
Yeah, no, I don't barely even do that. I keep all the Christmas stuff to December, just so that I won't get tired of it. Because I love Christmas. I love Christmas a little too much, maybe. So
it's like
I don't want to lose that feelings. I only celebrate Christmas in December. Like I don't listen to Christmas music or watch Christmas movies. I don't even drink. Well, you don't have that. Yeah, julmust. It's this Christmas,
it's Swedish Christmas soda.
Swedish Christmas soda, yeah. That is.
Yeah, I was
very
about to say that because
never even touched that before December. I haven't even had any this year yet. No, that's not true. I had it this Thursday.
I had some today because we were at a julbord for lunch, so it was a Christmas luncheon. Basically.
Christmas lunch. Yeah.
There was one dude, like in the room, saying like, "Well, I'm not gonna take julmust today because I'm scared I'm gonna like." Have too much of it and not want to have it at Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I kind of know the feeling.
Yeah,
you don't really want to ruin it. You don't want to overdo it until you get close to Christmas. So the last week before Christmas Eve, I watched 2 or 3 Christmas movies, like the special ones, every day.
Okay, yeah. I watched
and Home Alone 1 and 2 are on those few last days.
Oh, okay.
They are so dear.
Yes, they are very, very dear. They're at least the first one is in my like top 5 Christmas movies of all time.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. Anyway, but we're talking about number 3.
Yes.
And
That's the problem for me with number 3. It doesn't have
it's
that
not really Christmas. Yeah.
oomph to it.
And that's true, yeah. It doesn't have the Christmas music or the Christmas-inspired music. It doesn't have the John Williams music, which is a big thing in this one. It has a bunch of pop songs. Well, I guess a couple of pop songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's not the same director, it's not Chris Columbus. It is, however, actually directed by the guy who edited the first 2 movies. He got a chance to direct this one. Yeah, I always remembered that because his name always stuck out to me when I watched the first 2. Partly because the editing is so good, and he has a memorable name. His name is Raja Gosnell. I don't know how much other stuff he's made. I only recognize him from Home Alone movies as editor and director.
He's edited a lot of things.
Yes, yeah, okay. So he's mainly an editor, I guess.
He edited Pretty Woman.
Oh, wow.
Home Alone 1 and 2, of course.
Yeah.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Okay. The new one, I guess. The 97 or something. 95. Not 94. The original. Yeah, 94.
94.
Okay, yeah.
And he's directed Scooby-Doo movies, the first and second.
Oh, he did? Well,
and Big Mama's House.
The first Scooby-Doo movie's great. Which one?
Never Been Kissed.
No.
With,
Sure. I was thinking of She's All That, but you should check out our episode on She's All That on every major podcast platform. Anyway.
However, he kind of went downhill after Scooby-Doo 2.
Okay.
He did Yours, Mine, and Ours, which is that one.
I'm not sure. I don't.
Oh, it's one of the Too Many Kids movies.
Oh, yeah.
And then he did Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Oh no.
Smurfs and Snow Dogs. I was like, okay.
Okay.
He does, however, have a Christmas movie in pre-production.
Oh yeah?
Santa: The Adventure Begins.
All right.
We'll have to keep that in the list for whenever it comes out.
We'll see if it pops up next Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's done some recognizable things at least.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at, I know a lot of the fun stuff in the 2 originals are the sound, but I mean the editing is part of it as well.
Oh yes,
they're very well. The comedic timing is very good in those 2, so I can see why they wanted to keep someone who like understood the material to make the 3rd one, and he's a competent enough director, at least in this movie. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, it's a really good movie that way.
Yeah, and you kind of get that feeling, even though it doesn't have that Chris Columbus touch. He does good kids movies. I mean, he did Home Alone 1 and 2. He did the first 2 Harry Potter movies.
At least the first 2.
I think he only did the first 2. I mean, he did later do Pixels, but that's later.
Yeah, if you're given bad material, it's not your fault.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you're missing the Chris Columbus touch. You're kind of missing like this kid is trying to do a little bit of a Macaulay Culkin acting sometimes.
He's definitely written the same way. You can tell it's John Hughes writing this kid. He's quippy. He's very intelligent, and what is his name? Lintz something? The actor Justin? No.
Yeah, Alex D. Lintz.
Alex D. Lintz. He's no Macaulay Culkin, but he tries.
No.
He's okay.
He's fine.
He's better than the other fucking kids in this franchise. Jesus Christ.
Definitely.
But it's obvious that they wanted Macaulay Culkin back, and this is just a stand-in. No offense to Alex Lintz if you're listening. I know you're a fan, I guess. But yeah, he's no Macaulay Culkin.
No. And I mean, looking at what he's done after this, he hasn't actually done too much. A lot of it's TV shows or like voice acting.
Yeah, and when
video games.
When he because he's born in 89, but in January 89.
Yeah.
So he's like me, and I think his like last thing was in 2007. So when he turned 18 and he had control over his own life, he said, "I'm not doing acting anymore.
I'm done."
Yeah. This is probably what happened, because he did a lot of stuff during his like child acting career. So I can see that maybe it wasn't for him.
No.
I read some trivia that he graduated college, but it didn't say that it was something like film related. So I guess he's a civilian now, so to speak. And yeah, he's
Bunch of like other actors that are, you can recognize them. The older ones obviously are more easily recognized, but we have a Miss Scarlett Johansson.
Oh right, yeah. I was gonna say I don't really recognize anyone else, but yeah, Scarlett Johansson is in this.
Yes.
It's not
One of her first.
Not the first, I think, but it's very early on. I know this and like Eight-Legged Freaks is one of the earliest stuff I can remember her from. That came out a few years after this, I think.
Well, she did her first thing in '94.
Yeah, so 3 years before.
So yeah,
this. What was that?
A few
what
years.
Was the first thing?
It was actually for a TV show. Well, for Late Night with Conan O'Brien. She played a role in that. Did they have skits?
Oh
back
yeah,
then?
I mean they have always done like little skits, but they were more elaborate earlier on. So yeah, she probably played some like bit part as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she did a movie called North.
Oh right, she's in North.
I have no idea what that is.
It's this really weird kids movie about Elijah Wood plays a kid named North, who like he thinks his parents are neglectful, so he sues them for a bunch of money, and then
it's not called North in Sweden. It's called something else.
Yeah, it's got some stupid. Hold on.
You have it.
I have it. Hold on. Where's N? I J M N. Let's see. But maybe it's not on North then.
No, I don't think it's on North, because you have Bruce Willis in a pink bunny suit on the cover.
Yeah. Shit.
Right. And
do you have the Swedish title?
No, I can't find it.
Okay, whatever. But he like sues them for a bunch of money. So, and then he's like I'm a free agent, so I'm looking for new parents. So the movie is him like traveling the world and trying to find like suitable parents, and of course he gets to hang around with a bunch of like quirky or rich people who want more money, you know.
Snacka om rackartyg in Swedish.
Well, shit.
Talk about mischief, basically.
Talk about mischief. Well, now I kind of have to find it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. I remember I watched. I think the Nostalgia Critic made a review of this many years ago when he was still kind of funny, or at least I still liked him. And I'd like, oh man, I think I saw this on like a yard sale or something, garage sale, and I was like, well, I gotta get that movie. And I watched it, and it's not as bad as he said in that, like, it's not the worst movie ever made, but it's weird, it's too quirky.
I mean, you have Jason Alexander and Julia Louis-Dreyfus as his parents.
His parents, yeah. It's Elaine and George playing his parents. Yeah. And Bruce Willis being like this, like Deus Ex Machina kind of character.
Yeah.
Like
the narrator.
The narrator, yeah.
That's what's credited as.
Yeah. And it's super weird. How do we? Oh, right. And yeah.
Right.
I bought this movie, and I think I've seen it once, so I don't remember.
Scarlett Johansson
in it. I mean, there was no one. When I bought this, I don't think I knew about Scarlett Johansson, of course, from this and Eight-Legged Freak, but she wasn't the star yet. This was before. What was her big break? Was Lost in Translation. Oh, okay, so I didn't know about that one because it was after that.
I mean, I know she's in Girl with the Pearl Earring, but
yeah, but that was later. I think Lost in Translation.
Oh right, it's just after. It's a year or two after.
So I knew of her, but I don't remember where she is in North. I think it's a very small part. Either way.
And then, of course, she had Home Alone 3 a few years after her first. She did a lot of movies in the beginning.
Yeah.
A couple of movies per year, actually. If you're a small part, it's not that much, I guess.
It's kind of funny because, like, the one people think of when they think of her is, now it's Marvel, of course.
Course.
But before that, it was Lost in Translation because it was that movie,
Yeah.
And that's only it's 2003. Okay, so it's 6 years after this. I thought it was a little earlier. But she's very different in that one.
Well, she's playing a very different character.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different character, but it's interesting to see, because she plays a similar part in Eight-Legged Freak as she does in this one. Have you seen that one about the giant spiders? Okay, yeah, you wouldn't like it, but
I'm not gonna watch it. Though.
It's an okay monster movie.
I've seen pictures and clips, and I've decided not to watch it because I hate spiders.
But it's fun to see how she decided to distinguish herself from being that kid actor by doing a movie like Lost in Translation.
Yeah. How else are you gonna grow up?
Yeah, and then she literally starred in a bunch of man-child movies, which is now defining her career, which is sad. But I mean, she's done so much quality work outside of that.
Yes.
Have you seen Marriage Story yet?
No.
Oh,
it's on the list.
My fucking God, that movie. Especially her and Adam Driver. I mean, everyone, but especially her.
We'll
God
save
damn
that
it.
for when I've seen it, so we can do an episode on it if we have time.
But that's my mini review of. I don't know if I've done that before, but it's my mini review of that movie. God damn it, it's good.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Back to Home Alone 3.
Back to Home Alone 3. My big problem with this, which makes me kind of not like it, is the script. Partly.
In which way?
Well, like I said, I do like that it's more involved than the other ones, and you do get a little more non-expository characterization of the characters of the kid.
Yes.
Without it feeling forced like in the other movies. So that's good. But when it comes to the actual plot, it's too much international spiery stuff and terrorists and the Air Force and CIA and what happened to Harry and Marv just trying to break into houses and steal their stuff?
Yes. It's a bit big.
It's too much, even though they keep it very low key during the actual movie, but the world around the movie is a little too big. The
implications of it are ginormous. Because the chip is isn't it something like a heat sink?
It's like a guide missiles, robots, missiles.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, these aren't just burglars that might when they have one small snub-nosed revolver in the second movie, that's oh my God. Here they have shotguns, revolvers, several guns. They have spy equipment.
They're actually trying to kill people.
Yes, yeah.
Not just because they're mad at the kid. No. They leave an old lady tied up to a chair in the garage.
Yeah.
To freeze to death.
Yeah. And while I do appreciate that then it works for both grown-ups and kids.
Sure.
Unlike the other movies that are just for kids or whatever the sixth one is. It's for kids, but it's about boring adults. I don't know. I like that, but I think it's too involved. And the worst part, I think the booby traps are too they're not believable.
No, you really have to know where they're going to be able to do what he's putting up.
Like the one where the long-haired one, whatever, the muscle of the group, when he tries to cut the fake quote unquote electric fence and he gets electrocuted.
Yeah.
And the leader just steps over him and he's not as clever as you think, and he sees the fishing wire. You think when he opens the door, then the big coffer with books is going to hit them in the head. No. The booby trap is that they're supposed to find the fishing wire, cut the fishing wire, and wait to be hit in the head.
Yeah.
How does he know that they're going to find the fishing wire and cut it?
Exactly.
But he didn't. But he also expected them to just not step over the electric fence. They're too convenient. It's too convenient.
It's a bit too convenient.
Some of them are funny. It's a simple one, but it's when the girl, whatever the girl is called, is going around to the back and trying to open the garden gate, and it's locked. So she puts her hand over the gate to try and find the lock, and it's just a big
bucket of glue.
Glue or rubber cement or whatever. That's clever because that's what would have happened.
Yes. I like the one where he moves the pool. It's
Yeah.
so much work, and I'm like, what kid would think of this? But it's actually kind of funny.
It's fun. It's funny, and like suspension of disbelief and everything. It's funny, but it's a little too much.
Yeah, what kid knows how to unscrew and move a trampoline or the jumping board thingy? What's it called? When you jump into
Springboard.
pool? Springboard, yeah.
Springboard, yeah.
First
Yeah.
off, aren't those heavy? How did he manage to move that?
I don't know. Yeah, so there are a bunch
But
of those.
it's
So,
clever, so you know.
and I think that's like, since that is the entire third act in these movies, or at least the first three, are all about the booby traps. So you need to spend like you need to spend time on like developing them. They need to be believable. And in the first movie, sure, some of them are super violent, but they are
Yes.
all of them are believable.
Yeah, it looks like something a kid would
Figure out,
do
yeah. I mean,
and know how to do.
even like most of them are even like stuff he has to be there and actually do stuff like pull a cord or like push something. Like they're not
Yeah.
automated the same way they are in the third one. So that's a big, like, they went too far, into the slapstick with the booby traps in this one.
Too far, yes.
And then because I was gonna say because Raja Gosnell wasn't editing, but he doesn't do the sound editing. There's lots of cartoon noises in this one, like the birds twittering when they get hit in the head, and the whip sounds when they fall. There are a little bit of that in the original, but here it's a lot. It's like a cartoon.
It's like every time.
Yeah, and it's a little much. A little much. And then before the booby traps, they spend a lot of time on the RC car gag. And it's cool in the beginning. I mean, that was the dream. It's basically like he figured out like drone technology before drones. He strapped a camera to an RC car.
When I watched it, I was like, was that technically possible?
I don't think so, because
to live feed it like that to himself?
I don't think so. I mean,
Wouldn't there be like cords running after? Did you have anything
I mean,
wireless back then?
I guess if you were like an engineering whiz, you could hook up some sort of antenna and send it like a signal to the TV, like a channel signal. But I don't think he could. But once again, suspension of disbelief on that part. It's like watching that when you were 7 or 8 or whatever. Oh my God, you wanted that.
Oh, cool.
I think I even tried, but it didn't. Of course, it didn't work.
No.
I had like a little toy remote car, and remember our big fat
yes.
It's like a high 8 camera, not VHS, but high 8 camera. I think we still have it in a drawer at mom and dad's house.
Probably somewhere.
Yeah, it obviously didn't work because the camera weighed 3 times what the car weighed. So.
And also, it couldn't direct feed.
No, of course,
because it was a tape. It recorded on tape, which that one in the movie does as well.
Yeah,
because he does look for the tape. So
yeah.
How did he do that?
And then that RC car thing goes on for so long. It wears you down a little bit. Yes. It's a little much. I mean, you think it's going to be over when they actually manage to grab the car and like, oh shit, they got the car, because that's what they're there for. But then it just continues.
Yes.
It's a little much. But really, those are my biggest complaints.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that they've added the pets. That's actually funny. They use them in a funny way.
Yeah.
Well, not Doris as much, but the rat.
The bird, yeah.
But the bird is used a lot, and she's used in a funny way, or it, I suppose. I just assumed it was a she for some reason.
But it sounds like it has a woman's voice when it's talking human speak, so...
Yeah,
I guess
but I don't know if all
bird.
parrots sound that way.
Doesn't it have a name?
I'm gonna look it up, actually. Because I'm not sure.
The rat is female, it's Doris.
Yeah.
But the bird, I don't know. Whatever. I assumed it was a female just because they had a female doing the voice. Or
Parrot
a
voice
woman.
is Darren T. Noss, though.
Darren? That sounds like a guy. Okay, maybe it is a guy.
He was born in Whittier, California, so
all right.
yeah.
So the bird is a guy then, based on the voice. All right, sure, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
It's still funny.
But I can't find the actual parrot.
Maybe this was his only role.
Yeah. I can't find the rat either, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't think they credit rats on IMDb.
Not always.
I know dogs sometimes, but maybe that's where they draw the line. Either way.
Yeah, either way. I don't know how much acting they did. They were just there, basically.
Yeah, to what's it? Obey
Add
commands.
comedic effect.
Yeah. The big problem with this one, and this is the one that suffers the most from that, is that it feels like it's aping off Home Alone the most, because it was the first sequel where they kind of broke the spell. The other ones are worse, but I think this one got the worst like criticism for it.
Yeah, because it came so close in succession.
Yeah, I mean the other ones obviously got worse reviews, but they were so far removed from the originals that like, oh, it's just cheap cash grabs. This felt like a failed sequel.
Because we've said like the previous 3 have had like a very low score. 3 point something is the most, right?
Yeah, like 3.5 or something. I think both 4 and 5 had it. I don't even remember what the 6th has.
Yeah,
I didn't look. Yeah,
this one has at least a 4.5.
Yeah,
which is deserved.
Yeah, it doesn't have a Metascore, but I know it was reviewed by like professional critics. Famously, Roger Ebert gave this movie a thumbs up, where he had given the first 2 movies thumbs down. He thought this was better than Home Alone 1 even. There's a clip of it where what's his name? Roper, the other guy, Roger Ebert and Roper. He's just like he can't believe what he's hearing. He's just like, what are you talking about? Because he originally liked the first one. I think he even kind of liked the second one. So he's just sitting there watching Roger Ebert like, oh, this is like a power fantasy for kids, and I like the main kid actor. He's really good. Like, he's saying all these things about the movie, which is basically everything everyone else said about the first one. And Roper even says, like, that's what the first movie is. Yeah, but this one, for some reason, Roger Ebert just liked the third one better. Did he not like
Christmas?
I don't know.
I clicked on the 42 critic reviews on IMDb.
Yeah.
And the list...
But it's always... when it is those, like, non-Metascore, Metacritic reviews, there's usually, like, blogs and stuff.
Yeah, external reviews.
Yeah.
But one of them comes up as... Most of them are, like, titles of where they are.
Oh, the first one is actually RogerEbert.com.
Yeah. One is, a child murders 4 adults and laughs about it.
What?
Sorry, what?
Stinker man. Well, yeah, and here's James Bernardelli, Peter Stack from San Francisco. Okay, so they just put the professional reviews in the external reviews? I don't know why. Whatever.
I don't know, maybe some movies don't have enough to get a Metacritic? I don't know. I just like the title of that one. He doesn't murder the 4 adults. They're all alive.
Here we can actually, and it's not the same as the video review he made or the TV review, but at least these are his words. It got 3 out of 5 stars. This is Roger Ebert on RogerEbert.com. It's actually written by him. Call me hard-hearted, call me cynical, but please don't call me if they make Home Alone 3. These words from my review of Home Alone 2 now have to be eaten. To my astonishment, I liked the third Home Alone movie better than the first 2. I'm even going so far as to recommend it, although not to grown-ups unless they're having a very silly day. Sure. This movie follows the exact same formula as the first 2, more or less, but it's funnier and gentler.
What?
Yeah, that's what makes it more of a kids movie. I mean,
I wouldn't agree on funnier though.
It's not funnier. It is gentler. It's definitely there's less like grown-ups like talking about like grown-up stuff. Even though we do have the thief or the spies or whatever talking about killing all the kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I mean, sure, gentler sometimes.
The kid is gentler.
I guess. But whatever.
You still have a lot of grown-up things. You have the older kids being like, no, this is my little brother. We have to be protective of him because he's a child. And
trying to make them into characters when they're barely in the movie. That was lame. But anyway, so
I did like Scarlett Johansson closing the door on an FBI agent going like, no.
The it you're talking about is my brother.
Yeah, like, oh, damn.
But anyway, it's funnier and gentler. it has a real charmer for a hero. Oh my god. I mean, sure, the kid is charming, but he's no Macaulay Culkin, for Christ's sake. And it provides splendid wish fulfillment and escapism for kids in, say, the lower grades. Yeah, that's exactly what the first two movies are.
Yeah.
I don't understand what he didn't like about those. There's even, what? Oh, well, that's, oh my, okay. There's even a better rationale for why the hero is left home alone. Yeah, but that's...
I mean, it's more likely.
Sure.
But it doesn't make for a greater movie.
No, and I mean, the fact that there's such crazy circumstances in the first two movies, it's kind of what makes them more fun, because he's on his own, and it's cool to see how well he fares on his own. Like, in the first one, he like has to kind of grow up a little bit, and that's part of the movie. And then in the second one, he's like, oh shit, it happened again, but now he knows what to do, and he has a credit card. So,
yeah.
That's more fun. Like,
this kid is just home alone for a few hours.
Yeah, because his mom has to go work.
Chicken pox.
Yeah, like, sure, that's more believable, but it's not as much fun.
No.
There's no, jumping on the beds, eating popcorn. There's no watching Angels with Filthy Souls, or faking a phone call as his father to the hotel, whatever it's called, front desk
lobby,
yeah, and renting the biggest suite in the hotel. There's nothing of that fun. If you want to talk about escapism, what a fucking fantasy for children.
This one is more like, this is what you should do, kids, if you run into things like that.
Yeah.
Call the cops.
Yeah. And it's, sure, I guess, better for kids to know that, but it's nowhere near as much fun.
Well, it's at the same time kind of, they won't believe you unless you have proof. So, be careful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with that. It's
very
strange. Fun
strange.
movie, sure, it's fine, and kids will definitely love it. Have probably forever always loved this.
Sure.
But it's not a match towards the first or the second one. Like, not at all. Number 1 and 2 will always be better than any of these, no matter what you do.
They're classics. This is not.
Yes.
It's not bad, but it's no classic.
To be honest, I've probably only seen this like 3 times now.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna watch it again unless I'm for some reason discussing it again on a podcast or in a video or something. Like, I'm not gonna put it on just like enjoy it. No. I gotta say though, he's kind of like protecting himself from criticism here in the end of the review, because he says like, okay, the stunts at the end are more slapstick and less special effects, and the result is either more entertaining more entertaining than the first 2 films, or I was having a very silly day. Oh, so you were just in a grumpy mood when you watched the first one, so you're gonna deny a classic and say that the third Home Alone was better? No. That's not very professional.
That's not how it works.
Unfortunately, you've passed away, so I can't say this to your face, but still.
All right.
It has been a while. Anyway.
Well,
was there anything in particular? Oh, I can ask you this, because just like with the other ones, I did laugh in this one. Like, laughed out loud at some of the traps. Do you remember anything specific?
I mean, the bird on the speakerphone was kind of funny.
That's kind of funny.
I did remember laughing at that.
The one.
But,
oh no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But I'm not sure if there was a lot of like actually funny bits. I watched it with my boyfriend, and he did laugh out loud at a few things.
But had he seen them before?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Not sure.
He even suggested it because he knows we were talking about all the Home Alones. He was like, "Have you watched number 3 yet? Can we watch number 3?"
Okay.
I was like, "No, that's the one we're watching." And he's like, "Can we watch number 2 after?" I was like, "Not yet, but yes, we will." So, but yeah, he enjoyed it way more than I did. But again, I have a record of not laughing at movies, so...
Oh, yeah, we talked about this. You don't find things funny.
Not the same way that most people do, no.
That's insane. But I laughed a couple of times, like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
But the one that really got me, I don't know what it was, I think it was just the timing of it, is when the lady spy, she's made it through the gate with the glue bucket, and he has then turned the entire path there behind the
Walkway,
house.
yeah.
He turned it into mud soup basically. So it's like ankle high, just mud. So she's walking through that,
Yeah.
and she keeps falling because it's so soupy, and she falls on her face and turns around, but then she's fallen on like a fishing wire, which pulls down this like Christmas flower pot, the Santa pot, and it's just like her turning around. From her point of view, you see the thing coming, and it's going straight for her face, and her like, oh no, and then just smack. That got me. I don't know what it was. It was just. It's kind of like when Kevin throws the bricks in the second movie. It's just that cock in the head. It's very funny. Violence is funny.
But I did not like what happens after when she takes off. The Santa face has remained intact on top of her face.
Like
it's
a mask. Yeah. That's the where the slapstick becomes a little too much. Yeah.
And to be fair, that's the Santa though. That makes it a Christmas.
Yeah. They left that Santa flower pot there, so
in the attic though.
Yeah, I suppose.
But there's a flower in it, so
yeah. That was my one big laugh, and other ones were just little snickers.
Yeah.
So
I mean the two not head spies, the other dudes, the muscle and the driver, I suppose.
Driver, yeah.
They're just there to be hit in the head, basically. They're not that
especially
funny.
the long-haired guy.
Yeah.
I get the feeling he's supposed to be the Marv,
Yes.
The goofy one.
I mean, specifically based on the poster, he's the one who's getting electrocuted.
Oh yeah, and the hair, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
but
also
then you have like
they like repeat some boob traps from the first one or the first two. Like straight up, like the thing with when he grabs the electrical fence thing. I mean, sure, he grabs a faucet in the second movie, but it's the same joke, like him and the hair going out. It's the exact same joke. And there's some I don't remember now, but there's one more where it's the same joke, and that's like, come on, you just wrote this, John Hughes. What are you doing?
Yeah, doesn't he freeze them in one or two as well? Because they get frozen in this one eventually.
Yeah. I don't remember, but I do...
and tripping on ice and stuff, that's always been done. I mean, that's in all of them, basically.
But in this one, you actually have one that they repeat in Home Sweet Home Alone. When the guy, he turns on the garden hose, or the garden sprinkler, and he gets sprayed with water.
Yes.
In his face, and he can't turn it off, just like Ellie Kemper in Home Sweet Home Alone, when she's trying to put out her feet fire. Instead of just walking in snow that is everywhere. I don't know. It's that fire retardant snow that won't put out fire.
Yes, because it's fake.
Yeah, it's like oh my god, we stepped into a major conspiracy. You've seen those videos of people trying to burn snow and it melt?
Yeah, in Texas.
Uh-oh, that's what's going on here.
Yeah. No, but what is getting to, like, they're just there. Those two guys are just there for slapstick.
Yeah, for getting hit in the face.
She's there because they want to add a female in this one, I suppose.
Which they had in every movie after this.
Yes.
It's kind of funny. I don't know if that's a thing that you want. You want diversity in your antagonists? I don't know.
The bad guys are not always guys.
No, sure.
Even women can do bad stuff.
Yeah, I know, but I feel, especially in this one and the fifth one, they're very like similar as well.
Yeah.
With the dark-haired, like kind of steely-eyed,
Yeah. They're portrayed in a very similar way. Yeah.
Yeah. And Vera in number 4 is not that at all. Ooh. But she has kind of the same look. What's her name? Whatever, the actress. We talked about her. She kind of, if she had black hair or dark hair, she would have looked exactly the same. I don't know.
They do have a lot of similar shapes.
It's a stereotype going on.
Maybe.
Except for Ellie Kemper. She breaks that mold, but still.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then, of course, we have the main guy who, he kind of disappears for a while.
Yeah, because he's too clever. I don't know.
Yeah. But then again, he gets sprayed in the face and looks like an actual burglar, so...
Yeah, exactly. He looks like he's wearing a burglar mask, yeah.
And he's the one who gets hit in the gut by the closet boxing
Yeah,
glove
yeah, the
crap.
crotch even.
Oh yeah, true. So I mean, he's supposed to be this like super intelligent leader guy, but he's just extra vicious, I
Yeah,
suppose, because
yeah.
he actually wants to shoot people.
That's kind of both funny and bad. That the bad guys in this, they almost feel like they're from a mid-90s like random action movie, like maybe not like a
Yeah,
Steven Seagal, but like a Jackie Chan, a little more lighthearted, like a Jackie Chan movie.
yeah,
They could have been the bad guys in Rush Hour. They came out the year after this, but then they get transported into this kids movie, which is kind of
yes,
funny, to clash those two because it starts out like a thriller almost. They're having
yeah.
like backroom deals in dimly lit offices, and they're smuggling stuff through airports, and they're like, is this really a kids movie? And they're like, oh, there's the kid. And
Well, yeah,
that's
because
fun, and I like that then juxtaposition to have those kind of characters in a kids movie.
is it the main bad guy? Is he
He's in
Borup?
Korea or whatever.
That's
Huh?
his name, Borup.
But yeah, something like that. He's supposed to be like
He
Polish or something. He speaks
yeah,
Polish or something in the end.
he feels like he could be the bad guy in like Die Hard.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. In the Die
Just
Hard-esque movie.
yeah, but
He,
like just unfortunate with his companions and what he is after, I suppose.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I like that
If
aspect, even if it doesn't fully work.
yeah,
Um,
it adds a bit of excitement to it because with Harry and Marv, you're not really like, oh my god, are they actually gonna get him? You're kind of like
no.
you get the feeling that he's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Even when they kind of get him.
towards the end of the first one, you're like, oh shit, they got him, and they're like, he says
Yeah.
they're gonna like beat him up and bite his fingers off. That's actually kind of scary, but yeah, then he gets free very quickly after that because of
Yeah, but
old
when you
man
see
Marley.
these bad guys in the beginning, you're like, shit, these are actual
Yeah,
bad guys.
these are professionals.
Yeah. Oh shit. They're gonna fight a kid? That kid's screwed, dude.
Yeah, that's also a little like they're almost like too dumb to be like they because the CIA guy or FBI guy, whatever he is, or the Air Force guy, I don't know,
Yeah.
the guy. He's
Government
like,
dudes.
yeah, oh, I've been looking for this bureau guy for like 7 years, like,
Yeah.
but then this 8-year-old stopped them in 2 days, bruh.
Just because he happened to
You're gonna
cross their
get
path.
fired.
Yeah. This guy's gonna take your job.
Yeah, so the suspension of disbelief is almost breaking at some points.
It's a bit
Almost
much
a little too
sometimes, yeah.
much, yeah, for this to like to pass.
But
So
it's like kind of round this out. It's still a good kids movie.
sure, yeah.
Not a good Home Alone movie, but it's a good kids
Nah,
movie.
yeah, yeah.
It loses points again because there's lack of Christmas, so I don't want to count it as a Home Alone. And if they had put more distance between Home Alone 2 and this one in like years,
Yeah.
I believe they could have marketed this as just a
Random
random
kids
kid
movie.
movie,
Yeah.
and it would have probably done okay.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know how well this made. Like, did people go and see this because, like, well, 2 was actually good, so maybe 3 can be good too, even though they switched out the kid.
I'm sure it did fine, let's see. But it probably didn't do great.
Because I know a lot of people, that's like when you first see it, you're like, Home Alone, but it's not him. Maybe they didn't go and see it. I don't know.
Let's see. The first one. No, wait, that's not the first one. That's the second one. The first one cost $18 million. It made $476 million worldwide in 1990. Well, and 91, I suppose. So on an 18, it doubled its budget by like 50 times or something. The second one, of course, it's more expensive. $28 million. Still made over $350 million.
Yeah.
The third one cost $32 million, so it's the most expensive so far.
How?
But
How?
It's later. People want
Yeah, I
more
suppose.
money. Inflation, yada yada.
Either way.
But it didn't even break $80 million in box
Ouch.
office worldwide. Yeah.
No,
So
I'm betting a lot of that is because it's Home Alone, but you switched out the kid.
Yes. So $32 million estimated. That means about $50 to $60 million spent.
Yeah.
So 79 back, not great. I mean,
No.
they broke even. They made some petty cash, but I mean, it was not obviously not the success they wanted. That's why they waited so long to make the next one.
Yeah.
And the next one was, even supposed to be a TV show.
Yes.
Funnily enough, this was also written to be a pilot.
Oh.
A supposed pilot. And reading that trivia for this one said that the fourth one was originally a movie idea that then got turned into a pilot, but it was unsuccessful, so they just sold it as a movie. But I'm pretty sure they wrote the fourth one as a TV pilot, but maybe I'm wrong. But this one...
Either way.
Yeah, this one said it was written... The idea was to make a TV pilot, but then, they turned it into a movie.
This is a plot you could have dragged out over a TV show.
Yeah.
Not millions of seasons, but maybe one at least, or two.
The way TV shows are made today, where like Netflix basically makes 10-hour movies and splits them up in 10 episodes.
Yes.
Like Black Mass or I don't know, Haunting of Hill House. They're basically movies. Yeah. I'm watching this show now. It's a Danish show, but it's still a Netflix show called Elves.
Right.
It's 6 25-minute episodes. That's literally a 3-hour movie.
They just cut it
up. Yeah. This could have been like a 6-episode like miniseries. Where
because you could have fleshed out a little bit more
about the thieves and the terrorist plot, and then have this weird like third act where a kid just thwarts them.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that might have worked better. I don't know.
This was nominated for a Razzie as the worst remake or reboot.
I can see that.
Yeah,
of course, because you're following up Home Alone 1 and 2. Like I said, this got the most flack, even though it's the best of the sequels, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's so close into the originals.
Yeah.
And on my list, just because it's missing the Christmas theme, it's actually dropping. It's below number 5.
Oh no!
Yeah, but
it's God.
They're very close.
Because
even though 4 and 6 have Christmas in them, they're still worse than this one.
Oh, definitely, 4 and 6 are terrible.
Yes, they're like equal bottom. Just put them down there. I don't care. 5
is just bad, but it's got enough fun stuff in it.
It had this heartwarming Christmas details, and it did make me like both laugh and cry almost at the end. So,
please listen to our episode on number 5. I know it sounds insane that we're praising it so much, but it makes sense if you listen to that episode.
It's free. You can find it everywhere.
Yeah, that is literally a free episode. It's going to be on every platform eventually. Or it is when you're watching this, it is already out. By this point,
it is already out.
Yeah, so we're not crazy. We explain why we like the 5th one so much. However, I'm going to say this is still better than the 5th one. This is an actual movie. The kid is not irritating. He is charming. It's not weird like flat lighting and the TV movie music. It's actually a movie.
It's a hair thin difference, and it's only the Christmas thing for me.
For me, it's more than a hair thin difference, but still.
No, I like the difference in points for me. Like
sure.
This one is way better production and all that stuff. But Christmas.
Yeah. I'd give this like a weak 6 or a strong 5.
Somewhere around that. I think that's what I gave number 5 as well.
Yeah, I think I did too. But this is slightly above middle of the ground because it's not bland. It's not bland. It's fun.
No,
but
it's just
not
a little
great.
bit much sometimes.
Yeah. So strong 5 out of 10.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to finally watch 2 and 1 now.
yes, and that's what we did in reverse order. So we
want to end it on a good note.
We could finish on a high note, and conveniently enough, the movies have just gotten better and better. Well, except for number 4, but I mean, 6 is still. I mean, we can spoil our like end of the countdown list. 6 is gonna be in the bottom.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Disney totally mucked it up by
Oh, yeah.
trying to reboot the Home Alone thing. They couldn't. They
It didn't
should
work.
stay away.
Yeah.
Just stay away.
But that's gonna have to be it for this episode, I think.
Yes.
We're gonna keep this one short. And thank you so much for listening to this or watching it. Wait, this is a free episode.
Free episode.
I mean,
see, we're pre-recording. We're a bit confused.
yes, all episodes are free, but this one is actually on Spotify and
They're on
Apple
all the
Podcasts and all that. Yeah. So if you want to listen to our discussion on number 6 and then on number 2
And number 4, if
and
you
number
really
4,
wanna.
yeah, sorry, number 4, yeah, if you wanna, check
And
us out.
number 2, eventually.
Yeah, check us out on patreon.com/Don't Make a Scene. Like we said, all the Home Alone episodes are going to be free forever. We'll never put them behind a paywall. But if you want all the stuff behind the paywall, it's just $3 a month for a weekly extra episode. Commentary tracks, we're going to try to start actually making them every month next year. And there's also early
you can
access.
recommend movies.
Of course, on the $3 level, you get to recommend movies, either for episodes of the podcast or for commentary tracks. Just write a comment. You also get early access to my ongoing Nicolas Cage podcast, Madness in the Method, that's coming back in mid-January. And when I start making videos again, you'll have early access to those as well. So there's a bunch of stuff, and all that is on the $3 tier. It's definitely the best tier. The other ones are just if you want to be really nice, and the $1 tier is just, if you want to, kick in a little bit, but you don't care about the stuff. That's fine too. Or if you just want to subscribe or give us a review on Apple Podcasts, or we are listed now on GoodPod, the app. You can look up the spoilerCast and leave us a review there. Look it up. That'll be lovely as well. Or subscribe to us on YouTube. Every little bit helps. So tell your friends, and we'll see you in the next episode where we finally get to talk about the real Home Alone. Well, the second real Home Alone movie.
Yes.
Home Alone 2. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in that one. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.